Hey folks, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from a Raymond Report with another edition of strategy and stuff for Saturday, June 26th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your day. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. All right, folks, it's the another edition of strategy and stuff, and what we're always going to talk about in these segments is strategy. And before I get to that, don't forget the World Series of Handicapping Pro Football Contest Season number 10 is registrations are underway. It's $25 entry fee. And folks, you always win the ring if you get first place. But this year we're going to add $1,500 in cash to the top prize, $750 for the second, and I believe it's $500 for the third. And all you got to do is sign up. It's $25. And in fact, anytime you go 7-0 during the week, you pick up $50 cash, so you get half your entry fee and $25 to boot. And if you like football, pro football, you can always sign up to our contest. And again, we're going into season number 10. And if you want to see the past winners, just click on the past winners, and you can see on this page everybody's got the ring. And this is always a fun contest. All right, speaking of finding winners and being successful, how do you determine being successful? Do you what is success to you when you're in sports handicapping? Do you set goals? Are you just action junkie, or you're a sports investor? But to me, success is, and the one thing I always try to do when I'm trying to be successful in sports betting is always be prepared. Always make sure that the picks that I'm going with, I'm very confident that, knowing that there's a bit of research behind that selection, and it's always validated by sites like bullpenpicks.com, which I'll explain to you in a second why, to me, bullpenpicks.com is one of the best handicapping tools in the industry. Now, you're probably saying, wow, that's a big statement, the best handicapping tool. Folks, you won't know the value of this site until you start winning. And because once you start winning at sports, and the thing with sports betting is that once you win, it's contagious, right? And you just constantly want to win and win and win. But how do you get those winners, right? How do you come up with your picks? How do you come up with your theory, right? A lot of people and handicappers, when they write down or they do their handicapping and their research, they're basing their handicapping on many different factors. Things such as, eyes are, trust your eyes type thing, right? A lot of handicappers don't look at stats, no analytics. It just, they believe in their experience, watching the sports, getting a feel for situational handicapping. Some are analytical. I believe in analytics, but I also find there's room to include situational handicapping into your analytics. But you got to have a feel for it, and each sports is different, right? And to me, anytime you deal with, say, moneyline sports like NHL and MLB, it's completely different than spread sports, right? So you got to have a different mindset, a different perspective on when you're handicapping. And I think because of the favorites in baseball and hockey don't have the same type of win percentage than the teams in spread sports, right? Spread sports, it's the bookmakers, he's got the number. That's the equalizer. When the bookmaker can adjust the numbers, the only way he can adjust the numbers on moneyline sports like NHL and MLB is discourage you by putting the money line higher, right? So look, for instance, today is June 26th, and I'm looking at the Toronto Blue Jays, and they're sending Hyun-Jin Ryu to the hill, and looking at their price, $265. That will discourage you. Like, if you really love the Blue Jays today and you're saying, oh, I can't wait to bet the Blue Jays, then it's like, whoa, $265. No, I don't think I'm going to bet the Blue Jays today, right? That's how they discourage you with moneyline sports. But whenever you do your handicapping, your research, you got to have some type of, some type of theory behind it, some type of rationale, and why do you like that selection? And, everybody's different, and the way you get winners, it's up to you, and it's up to what your beliefs are, right? Now, one reason why I think this is probably one of the best handicapping tools in the industry is because it finds winners for you. And when I say that, it finds winners for you, when you go to top scores, and I look at the top players right now, and I look at the scores, here's the situation with this website. It only posts the top players once they've put 100 picks in the system. So once a player has put 100 picks in the system, that's the credibility factor, right? Now they've proven themselves. They're credible, and we track their selections. And when you click on the link here, I don't know if you guys can see this on the. I know when I do my live streams, you can't see the pop-up menu, but here I think you can. But you see the record on their confidence level shows up right here. Now this guy here, Dom Mags, he's I think it's my buddy from Montreal there. Anyways, he's having a good run right now. And if you look at his last 100 selections, and anytime you do your picks, so let me go back to my picks here. No, I've already done my picks today. So there's a confidence meter, right? So you make your selections based on the confidence level. So let's go back to Dom's here. So look, when he has a confidence level of 63 to 72%, he is 11-1. Now, when I go look at Dom's picks for today, so I go to my following, and I'm pretty sure I'm following there. He is Mags. All right, so this is where I'm looking at to see what he's got a score of 798. Again, he's proven. I'm not going blind here. I'm not following this guy blindly saying, oh, you know what? Who is this guy? No, the system at Bullpen will weed out the winners and losers and only produce the top players that are winning. And this is strategy, guys. I'm telling you, if you know, I'm a handicapper. The first thing I do is I do my own handicapping because that's what I do for a living, right? But then when I come here, I enter my picks, and then what I'll do is I'll validate my picks with some of the guys that are already proven. Like I look at Muss. Muss is a really good handicapper, especially in hockey too. I look at MLB Game Picks. Justin here, he's been here a while. Evans B. Michael. All these guys are proven, so that I'm not going blind knowing that these guys don't know what they're doing, because I know that they're proven. I see their score, and the way. See, the one thing, and this is the beauty of sports handicapping. A guy like Mags, you don't know what is. He could be flipping a quarter. You don't even know, throwing darts, or he could be really plugging in and started last night. Scouring the internet for information. He's got situational. He's got analytics. He's got a theory. Maybe his eyes are his scouts. Those are things that you, at the end of the day, you care. But the only thing you really care is, does he get a W? And that's the bottom line. Does he win? Does he or she win? Same thing with Muss. Same thing with the MLB Game Picks. So when I look at their selections, I said, okay, I'll give you a good example how I would approach it today on a Saturday, and say, okay, I'm still waiting for Nicky Bats and Evans. I don't think they've put in their picks yet, but no matter what, we'll just go with these guys right here. So I'm looking at the Yankee game. I got 55%, 52, 52, 53. So we're all low confidence, below 60, so I don't think I'm going to touch that game. LA, we all like LA, 68, 62. Anytime you get guys in the 60s and 70s, then you got to really go to, I always take my cheat sheet. I go to the Raymond Report, and what I do is I go to the dashboard, and I print out my tip sheet. This here is my tip sheet that I do each and every morning. I get up, I go to MLB, and then once I take the tip sheet and I print off the tip sheet, and then this way when I do my handicapping, I got something to write with, and I just keep notes, right? I always keep notes. I'll come back in a second when that is clear. But yeah, so what I'll do, so let's take a look here. So the Dodgers, 184. I'll just put a little check mark here. I'll put a check mark that the guys that I'm following that I trust. That's a big word, trust, right? I trust these guys with their selections. San Fran, see, now Mags is on the A's, but he's only there at 53%. And when you do your selection, and if you see right here, 51 to 54% is basically you're putting in a pick because the system tells you you have no choice. So anytime you got 51 to 54%, that's the coin flip, right? 58%. So Justin I like San Fran too, and so does Muss. 58, 52, but I got 59. I do like him today. The White Sox, 63, 60, 64. All right, so the White Sox, my guys that I'm following, do like them at 60. So I'll put another check mark right there. All right, I like Cleveland today. These guys are on Minnesota. All right, so 56, 59, 52. They like him. They don't love him, right? 59, St. Louis, 60, 63. So we're all 160, but then, we're all under 60. The Blue Jays, we all like the Blue Jays high. So you can always, here's the thing. Even though the Blue Jays are minus 265 today, you can keep a check mark, but just keep in mind you're not going to play them on the money line because you're probably just going to include them maybe on a two-team parlay, right? There's always a strategy on how you can make money with your the guys you're following. Texas, 58, 53, 54, 52. All right, so we're all and you got a good pitcher going today for Texas. In fact, it's Kyle Gibson. He's having a good year. Atlanta 54, 54, 56. Nobody's really strong. Houston, that's because they're on a really good, and Houston's a good baseball team right now. So put a little check mark on Houston. But again, high price tag 210. Not sure I want to do that, and I think that's a double header. So we'll keep an eye on that. I don't normally bet double headers. There's just too much conflicts of things going on that day, and it's just too much. I just think there's too much. It's really tough, the double headers. Miami, see, we're on Miami, me and Mags, and then Justin and Muss are on Washington, and we're all under 60, right? Milwaukee, 60, 70, 76. So again, Milwaukee is another strong play. So I'll put a check mark right there. New York Mets, that's because Jacob deGrom's going here. So 65, 55, 67, and 66. So I'll put a check mark on deGrom. So minus 230. But the thing is, see, that's the problem, though, is it's a lot of high chalk, right? A lot of high chalk. So you got to be very, very careful when you're dealing with high chalk, because you lose 2-3 games at minus, say, 200 or 185. Take you a couple of more bets to make that up. Tampa Bay, 57, 53, 60, 61. That's too bad. I was hoping these guys would be stronger in Tampa Bay because I really like Tampa. I know they had their losing streak, but they're back on a 3-game win streak right now. And San Diego. And sometimes, you know what? It's the series, right? You get series like Arizona, San Diego. You get Baltimore, Toronto. There's nothing you can do there. And it's just, the sportsbook's not a bank. It's not telling you every day that you're going to make money, right? You gotta pick your spots, and this is why I always say it's a marathon, not a sprint, and you gotta be patient. And that's why if you're an action junkie, this is what the books want you to do. They want you like forcing a bet, right? That's a big word, forcing. Like on a weekend like this weekend where you got a lot of mismatches in the games, books are trying to force you to make a pick, and you got to be very patient. Now, looking at our selections here, so we had Houston, all the guys that I'm following. We had Chicago White Sox, we had Toronto, we had Tampa Bay, Milwaukee, New York Mets. I think we had the Dodgers. Yeah, we had the Dodgers, and that was it. So, of all those selections, so we're looking at minus LA, minus 184. All right, so let me do on this side here. So LA, minus 184. We had Houston, minus 210. We had Chicago White Sox, minus 185. We had Toronto, minus 265. We had Tampa Bay, minus 150, so that's manageable. Milwaukee, minus 200. Minus 200. And then New York Mets. New York Mets at minus 230. All right, so of all these teams in the Raymond Report, remember the Raymond Report, I always talk about, so there's the my tip sheet I was telling you guys about. So I always grade my teams A, B, or C, right? So A-type teams are teams that are above 60%. B-type teams are 50 to 59.9%. And then the bottom dwellers are the C-type teams. So when I looked at Houston, Detroit, I got an A versus C. So because there's such a high price, I'm not looking. I don't think there's a really an opportunity to include them in a single bet. But here's the question though, and some things you can ask yourself right now. I used to be a guy and a bettor who used to be like, okay, I'll only bet 150 or below. I don't do that anymore, because at the end of the day, because the game has changed, the goalposts have changed in sports betting, you got to ask yourself this question. Are you willing to lay over 200 to make 1 unit? What will it take to make 1 unit, even if it's Houston, right? It's like buying stocks, right? Tesla's at what, $600 right now or something like that? Are you willing to spend $600 knowing you're going to make 1 unit? It's all about the eye of the beholder. It's all in obviously your bankroll situation. But at the end of the day, do you trust a team like Houston at minus 210 to deliver 1 unit, right? And that's what you got to be asking yourself. It's all about making a unit. And at the end of the day, am I willing to lay 210 to make 1 unit? Where I used to have a rule where I won't lay anything 150 or higher, and I don't go by that rule anymore. It's at the end of the day, do I feel confident enough knowing that this team at minus 210 is going to deliver 1 unit for me today? And if I don't win, then it's an expensive lesson, right? It's an expensive cost. I just lost 210 to make 1 unit. But what's the percentage of the percentage play of them making 1 unit for you. And this is why I always say I only bet on winning teams. I only take teams that are A type teams in the Raymond Report, because at the end of the day, winners win. And a team like the Houston Astros, the record, so 47-28. So their record on the season at 47-28. I'm just going to bring up their win percentage real quickly. It's like the old Bill Parcells saying, right? You are what your record says you are. And Houston right now, they're 62%. So knowing you're going into this game, you got a team that is a 62% win percentage, and Detroit right now has a 42% win percentage. So my mindset in this theory, my rationale of the Raymond Report and percentage play, I have a 62% chance of winning based on their experience this season, because they've proven to you in the past this season that they win 62% of your games. So you have a 62% chance, but Detroit only has a 42% chance, right? So do I include Houston? Now, all these high plays here today, so because we have a lot of high plays, I'm only probably going to do, like, say, if I'm going to do a single play, I'm only looking at Tampa Bay at 150 and maybe Chicago White Sox at 185. And that's where my two selections would be today. And Chicago White Sox, the winning team, they got a record of 58.7%, 44-31, first place, and Tampa Bay, first place in the American League East division. So just knowing that the people that I'm following, all right, so we all like Tampa Bay, even though one guy's at 60, one's at 51. So these two here, and I'm still waiting on these two guys, see what they like. Just knowing if they're above, say, 57% the second level? No, 55 to 62. So if they're anywhere in this range, say above 60%, if they're 63 to 100, that's even better. Then I know I got more confidence knowing that the people I'm following who are successful, and that's important, right? They're successful. They're doing very well with their picks. Then it just makes me more confident knowing that my original pick that I first came up with is validated by the people I'm following. Then it makes me feel good knowing, you know what, I got a good chance of winning this bet today. And at the end of the day, it's about making units. And when you win on a consistent basis, what's the first thing you're going to do tomorrow? You're going to go back to the well. Where did I go get the thing with winners is you always go back to the well, because you go where it's successful, where you have success. And if you just keep winning and winning, then you just, why would you do? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Just keep doing your strategy. And this is what this is all about, strategy and stuff. That's why we call it this segment. Speaking of strategy and stuff, there's another strategy you can use too. It's called Streetcatcher.com. So if you go to Streetcatcher.com and you see here, Plant-Based Junkie, one of our guys here, he's on a 10-game win streak. So he's already got his pick in today. And let me see here. He's got New York Yankees, Red Sox over 10. So here's another way. This is another, say, on a separate issue. Say if you're not including this in your bullpen picks or your sides. Now you got a player here who's on a 10-game win streak. Ride him. It's all about, like I said, the goalposts have changed in sports betting. Sports betting has exploded. The lines are tighter. The industry is saturated. And the leagues, the parity in sports today is nothing like it used to be in the 90s and early 2000s. Everything is balanced now, and there's a reason for that. That you look at teams, you look back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Every NHL team, NBA team, let's say NHL team, the first two lines, those were high-profile players that you can probably name anywhere. Now you try to name a second line center of the Minnesota Wild or the Edmonton Oilers, or they're just average players, right? And when I say average, I mean from the salary cap point of view. You look at baseball, same thing. Back in the day, Yankees, every player in the Yankees was making millions. High profile players, high profile names, and that's the way it was back then. It's not like that now. There's so much parity in sports. It's all balanced, and the salary cap plays a big role into that. And that's because they made it equal and even so that anybody can win on any given day. So that way, from a sports betting, it all ties in, to me, it all ties into sports betting, right? The sports betting is where a lot of these players and owners make their money. now that sports betting is exploding, you don't think that some of these owners own part of, some type of stock that involves sports, casinos, poker, not just only sports betting, right? It's the gaming industry now. So it all ties in together. But at the end of the day, what is your strategy to find winners? And this another winning strategy. And the thing, again, I'm going to come down to this, is when you start following or you start validating, I don't like the word following. That means you don't have confidence in yourself. But when you start validating your selections, and there's nothing wrong with riding a hot hand, like someone like this. Why wouldn't you not play this game here today, knowing this player here is on a 10-game win streak? To me, it makes complete sense. You know what? I'm not having a good streak right now. This guy or this girl's on a 10-game win streak. Why wouldn't I ride it? Over Yankees, and if he keeps winning, where are you going to come back tomorrow, right? And that's what I mean. Once you start winning and you start seeing your bank account go, where are you going back to the well, right? You're going to go back to where, you're validating your picks, you're following your picks. And this is why, to me, bullpenpicks.com for baseball is one of the best validators to validate your picks or to follow other pickers. All right, that's enough babbling for me for a Saturday. Man, my coffee's getting cold right here, right? But you know what? Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're all in, you buy in, or if you think you have a different strategy, or you're not feeling it. Would love to hear your comments. And again, check it out, bullpenpicks.com and streetcatcher.com. Those are two sites to go validate your selections, and hopefully it brings you to the winner circle. Cheers.